move on to another story on the front of The Australian. Hitting the big time on population, reads the headline. Australia will experience the biggest two-year population surge in its history, with an extra 650,000 migrants this financial year, and next driving a 900,000 jump in the number of residents. Ollie, I read this and I think, look, back in the day, it would have been great. We need more people to, patronise our services and our events and things like that. But where are they going to live?
And that's the question. I know that we'll come to the Courier Mail as well shortly, Jenna, because Anastasia's got an idea in Queensland. But, I mean, they're asking people in WA at the moment, university students, for example, to be billeted. You know, there are flyers in people's letterboxes around the university saying, have you got a spare room? Would you fancy perhaps housing an international student for a semester? That's how desperate it is at the moment. So it's all well and good to boost migration. But as you say, where are people going to live? And particularly in regional Australia at the moment, where, rentals are even worse than they are in the capital cities. And all those businesses are crying out for staff. They don't have enough employees at the moment. But people will turn their noses up at the towns because there's nowhere to live. This is something that every single state and federal and local government needs to grapple with at the moment, find inventive ways of putting up houses overnight or centres of national resilience that have been built and mothballed for COVID returnees that maybe someone would like to live in there for just a short period of time while they can, call Australia home. But look, it's an idealistic proposal here that we boost migration to those numbers. But as you say, there's just not enough houses at the moment. We can't magically make houses appear overnight.
And it's not, can I say it's not just houses, it's everything else, because these people will choose to live in the major cities. So Sydney and Melbourne in particular, already bursting at the seams with inadequate transport, inadequate public transport. Sydney with a road system which grinds to a halt when there's a drop of rain, not enough schools, not enough hospitals. The federal government brings them in and then says to state governments, you deal with it, you cope with it.
Yeah, it is really interesting that this story is really juxtaposed with another story, because we may not have enough houses, but there could be some more houses on the market, because another headline on The Australian tomorrow reads repossessions near levels of GFC. Westpac Chief Executive Peter King says the number of repossessed homes on its books is nearly back to global financial crisis levels, sounding the alarm on the risk of overextended borrowers defaulting as climbing interest rates and cost of living pressures eat into household budgets. I'm sure the Treasurer will be all over this and definitely watching what the RBA does next Tuesday, that's for sure.